China, August 17th, 2025. The Chinese people are devastated as a deadly flash flood struck Inner Mongolia, killing 8 people and leaving 4 missing while they were camping outdoors. As if that wasn't enough, in Shandong, a bus plunged straight into the sea, killing 6 people and leaving 2 still missing. The entire nation of China is drowning in sorrow as day after day, weather-related deaths show no sign of stopping. Chinese media reported that on the night of August 16th, as darkness fell over the Inner Mongolian grasslands, no one expected that tragedy was lurking in the Dongwugai Valley, where 13 young people were singing, lighting campfires, and enjoying what seemed to be peaceful moments in majestic nature. They brought with them excitement for adventure, colorful tents pitched on damp grass, the sound of streams flowing, and mountain winds blowing wildly. But just hours later, it all turned into a nightmare. At 10 p.m. on August 16th, a heavy rainstorm tore open the sky, and torrents of water rushed down from upstream faster than anyone could react. In the blink of an eye, the entire campsite was swallowed. Screams echoed through the valley but were quickly drowned by the roaring flood. 13 people disappeared into the pitch-black night. On the morning of August 17th, the official report shocked the nation. 8 people had died, only 1 person was rescued in an exhausted state, and 4 others remained missing in the wilderness. Images from the site showed tents swept away like dry leaves, rocks and debris piled high, blocking small streams. The Ministry of Emergency Management immediately deployed special task forces, helicopters circled the skies, and hundreds of firefighters and rescuers scoured every mountain and stream in search of the 4 missing souls. An emergency overnight online meeting was held, linking Beijing with Inner Mongolia and Bayan Nur to command the rescue mission. But the longer the search dragged on, the fainter the hope became. What makes it even more painful is that just minutes before the flood hit, local authorities had issued a yellow warning for flash floods in the area. But after a long day of outdoor fun, did anyone at the campsite even check their phones? Did anyone pay attention to the warning? They were lost in laughter, in music, in the intoxication of nature. And then, in a single moment, joy turned to death. It is no coincidence that Urad Rear Banner often suffers such disasters. Located west of the Yinshan Mountains, this rugged land of grasslands, Gobi Desert, canyons, and rocky hills hides countless deadly traps beneath its wild beauty. Flash floods, landslides, falling rocks, even sandstorms all can strike without warning. Just minutes of rain can turn valleys into raging rivers. People still remember clearly in 2022 when a similar flash flood in Pengzhou, Sichuan, killed dozens. Yet, the tragedy repeats itself. Overnight camping, once seen as a relaxing escape, now raises serious safety concerns. In reality, the risks of pitching tents in the wild are far greater than imagined. First, there is nature. Heavy rains, flash floods, landslides. Just a few minutes of carelessness can sweep away an entire campsite. Then there are wild animals, venomous snakes, wild boars, even wolves and bears, all spotted in Inner Mongolia. Not to mention the danger of theft or violence lurking in remote areas. As night falls and temperatures drop close to 10 degrees Celsius, a single thin sleeping bag can be enough to send someone into hypothermia. That is why this disaster is not just an accident, but a brutal wake-up call. It exposes both the fragility of humans before nature and the carelessness in preparation. Basic rules like not pitching tents near streams, not sleeping in low valleys, always checking weather forecasts, always carrying survival kits seem to have been forgotten. When the glamorous images of glowing tents and sizzling barbecue fires light up social media, people forget that just one rainstorm could turn it all into a mass grave. At the same time in Shandong, another shocking tragedy unfolded. Around 4 a.m. on August 16th, a bus carrying 11 people plunged straight into the sea after leaving Taoyuan fishing port in Rongcheng. In the dark of night, with raging waves, the entire bus sank within seconds. When rescuers arrived, only 3 survivors were pulled from the water, while 6 people died instantly and 2 others remain missing. The cause is under investigation, but many suspect the driver lost control or the slippery road after heavy rain was to blame. Heartbreaking images showed families crying on the shore, flashlight beams sweeping across the cold waves, painting a chilling scene of despair. As if that were not enough, southern China took another heavy blow. In Guangxi, Beihai City was forced to issue a Level 2 emergency response for storms and floods. A tropical depression formed off Hainan, whipping winds up to force 10 into the Gulf of Tonkin, shutting down all ferries from Beihai to Weizhou Island for 2 days. Hundreds of flights were canceled, thousands of tourists stranded, hotels packed full, and city streets turned into seas of panic. Meanwhile, all fishing boats in Guangdong and Yangjiang were forced to rush back to port before noon on August 17th. Offshore wind farms and aquaculture sites had to evacuate in haste. Though the depression did not grow into a full typhoon, it was strong enough to unleash torrential rain. Many areas forecast rainfall exceeding 300 mm in just 2 days, with winds up to force 12, enough to drown villages in hours. Shandong, already grieving from the bus tragedy, was then battered by nature once more. A violent thunderstorm struck without warning, winds up to force 11 ripping apart everything, rooftops, trees, even people caught in the open. Within just 40 minutes, Jinan, Yantai, and Daeju were submerged in floodwaters. Live footage showed entire cities swallowed by darkness and sheets of rain. People screamed and ran in chaos, many swept away before rescuers' eyes. In central and western China, the situation was no better. The remnants of Typhoon Yanglu swept inland, dumping rain for 2 straight hours, flooding Chengdu, Dayang, Guangyuan, Shanxi, Hongtong, and Taiyuan. Entire neighborhoods were cut off, bridges destroyed, millions left without shelter. The Chibi Dam was forced to open emergency floodgates, unleashing colossal torrents that thundered through the night. Red warning lights reflected in the black sky, creating a scene like the end of the world. Within just a few days, from Inner Mongolia to Shandong, from Guangxi to Sichuan, disasters struck one after another. Flash floods burying campers, buses plunging into the sea, tropical storms battering the Gulf of Tonkin, storms with force, 11 winds sweeping away entire cities, Typhoon Yanglu flooding central China, dozens dead, hundreds of thousands affected, damage immeasurable. Nature is striking China with relentless fury, wave after wave, as a brutal reminder that no matter how modern humanity becomes, we remain small and fragile against the power of the universe.